We are at a rante. It is a flat field where funeral ceremonies are performed for 4 days. And this particular site is called Bori. The name of it is called Bori, and we are north of Tanah Toraja. These gigantic stones are basically in memory of a dead person. This is a place only for wealthy, upper class, noble people. In a village, there are very few of them, maybe several families are wealthy and noble, and that is only when you can have your funeral rites done here. If you are not from a wealthy, noble family, it does not happen for you. Here in the north, as opposed to the south, a stone statue is purchased for you instead of a statue. But now these days, they're also doing statues. You can do both. And again, like the statue, you have to have 24 buffalo sacrifice in order to be worthy of having a stone monument in your memory. These structures here are called lacairn, and they belong to each particular family. When you come here for your family's funeral, the coffin is placed on the upper deck. Okay, so there are several of these lacairns, so each lacairn belongs to a different family. So again, there's not very many because there's not a lot of rich noble family. So your coffin gets placed up here, second floor, and then your family sits down here. Now, you can crash funerals, which I've been doing, because there's not a lot of them. I've only been to that one animal slaughter, very gruesome. So each family has their own little lacairn, which they sit, and then guests will sit around here, which temporary shelters are made. So what we're looking at are permanent lacairn. They're like viewing stations. Okay, you sit down here, and then on top is your family coffin. These stone monuments are expensive because it takes time to transport these stones from wherever they came from to come here, so they cost more than a statue. Again, however many stones you see are the number of people that have had their funerals here. They say there's 100, but I doubt it. But anyway, it's counting all the little small ones. Up here, this little shelter in the middle of the tree is the mid tower. It's called a Valakan. And when the buffaloes are slaughtered here, yes, they are slaughtered where I am walking. The buffaloes are tied around these rocks, unlike the one that we saw last time, which they have to have a stake. So these stones are strong, so the buffaloes are tied down here, killed, and then after that, the meats are cut up in these, in this Valakan, which is a mid tower. Once the meat is cut up, then they are divided and rationed and distributed to the participant of the funeral. So, if you are from this area of a noble family, where I am standing and walking, this place is called Bori, is where you will have your funeral. So again, funeral is a big deal. It's very important and very significant for the people in Tanah Toraja. It's a 4-day event. Day number 1 is the procession. Day number 2 and maybe 3 is the slaughtering of the sacrificial slaughtering of the buffaloes. And then fourth, forgot what the fourth one is, but okay, well, whatever it is. Anyway, it is a big deal. And then these small little structures that look like the tonkanen are biers. This is what the coffins are carried in. So the coffins are placed in this bier, and then it is placed upon like bamboo sticks, and then people carried it like pallbearers. Okay, so here I guess is a little grave dealio. So this is a man who died. Ah, he's got water. Okay, you won't go thirsty. So this is his grave. We'll talk about the grave at a different video because it's a lot going on. Gardener. Okay, another grave. Okay, I guess this person died in 1987. Okay, so the sun is shining against me, so it is hard to see. But I guess people are quote-unquote buried sometime maybe 1 year after they have died, or sometime even like maybe even decades. Death here is not seen as death, but when somebody dies, they are considered asleep or ill, and they're basically embalmed and mummified. Well, not mummified, they're wrapped in cloth blankets, so it's like one big package, and they just hang out in your house. You talk to them, you feed them, well, you don't feed them food, you offer them food, hang out with them. It's like a doll, but it's a corpse. It's your dead grandmother. And then there are several ways of how the body can be quote-unquote buried. It is really not how we know in the West, under the earth, ground. They could be placed inside a cliff, like a cave tomb thing, or quote-unquote buried in your family property. You just make a fancy house. So all the stuff I'm talking about is reserved for the rich people. If you're poor, yeah, dude, you don't get it.